I want to start with a quote from Freud, who said that the charm of a child is its narcissism. And that applies to some degree to adults too. I would say that's 50% true. But there's more to being charming than being a narcissist, okay? And being a narcissist is not necessarily the best thing for your happiness. But to be charming, you do have to have more than average self-love, okay? And I don't think that's a bad thing. It just has to be within the bounds of empathy. So the number one point on how to be charming is be high value and humble, okay? High value and humble. Think about a Ryan Gosling interview or George Clooney interview or Brad Pitt interview. These are obviously very good looking guys, extremely successful, extremely wealthy, tons of women. I mean, everything a man could want. And they're super high value, but they're also super humble in the interview because George Clooney's not going to sit there and brag about how many women he has or how much money he has because everyone's going to hate him, right? He's going to come off humble because he has the value to be very humble without diminishing his personal identity, without diminishing himself as a successful person. In fact, by being high value and being humble, it makes people like him a lot more. If he was just a complete arrogant dick in every interview, I mean, he would get so much backlash and people would stop watching his movies. But when he's super high value and super humble, it makes people like him and want to watch his movies and want to be around him. And it's a massive, massive thing. Those two things together are really important, okay? So you've got the high value where you're a winner. You've got, like, basically high value is everything that my site's about. Building up your bank account, building up your business, getting your style together, building your fitness, building up your access so you're able to offer guys, a chance to meet women or parties, building up your looks, building up your personal style, all these different things where you want to be able to walk into the place and people say, that guy's a winner, or that looks like a cool guy. I want to get to know him more. When I see another cool guy, I'll reach out to him and say, hey man, how's it going? Let's grab a beer or something like that, because I'm always looking for other high value guys, especially high value guys who are humble. Okay. So high value, check out my site, revolutionarylifestyledesign.com. I've got, at least 100 strategies on there to build up those different levels of your life. All right. But humility is something that you don't hear a lot about in the personal development world and also in the red pill personal development world. And humility is super, super important, okay? Because when you're high value and you're a dick, everyone hates you. Even your friends don't like you. Your employees don't like you. They just be nice to your face and they're waiting for you to fall. All right. And even the girls that you date, they might be attracted to you and they might want to fuck you because you're good in bed, but they don't actually like you, right? You can be very successful and very high value and have the majority of people that you meet not like you because you're a fucking dick. All right. And being a dick is the opposite of being charming. So you want to be high value, but you want to be humble too. Okay. And it goes both ways. If you have no value, but you're humble, then you're a doormat. If you're high value and you're an asshole, then you're a fucking dick. All right. So you want to be somewhere in between. You want to be high value and you want to be humble and kind of modest. You don't want to fucking brag about what you're doing. When I'm communicating with you guys, I try and make sure that, okay, if I'm talking about girls or something, it doesn't come off like I'm bragging, or at least I hope that it doesn't. What I want it to come off to is just me talking to you one-on-one, from a place of sincerity and just saying, there's guys who are better at making money. There's guys in better shape. There's guys better with women. I have some, skills that I can teach to you, but it's never about being the fucking, the king shit, right? You always want to be able to project that humility, and that goes whether you're meeting somebody new or you're just talking to the checkout girl or whoever. It's a really, really great way to get people to like you. And just to give you an example, think about the guy in high school who's popular, all right? So you have one guy who's popular and he's a complete dick, and let's say you weren't popular in high school and you hate this guy, but then Take another guy who was popular, but he was super nice and he would talk to you as an equal and he wouldn't brag to you about shit and he would, listen to you and stuff like that. You love that guy and you want to be around that guy more, okay? It's all about high value and humility. So that's point number one. Point number two is positivity, all right? You cannot be negative and be charming at the same time. It's impossible. It's impossible to be negative and charming. When you're complaining, this sucks, this shit, life is shit, I'm fucking bored. You cannot possibly be charming when you are coming with those characteristics. It's impossible, all right? So you have to be positive if you want people to like you. No one wants to be around someone negative. Negative people are like fucking vampires and they drain the positivity out of the interaction. They drain the charm out of the interaction. And the more negative you are, the more you repel people. But the more of a positive aura and a positive energy that you create, the more you draw people into your circle. Okay, it is an absolute necessity if you want to be charming to be positive. And the best way to be positive is to get into state. State is an NLP term. It's a term that you hear a lot from Tony Robbins. It's a term that the Real Social Dynamics guys talk about a lot. State means feeling good, all right? I'm talking to you in state right now. I'm feeling terrific. I just went on a bike ride. I'm shooting from the middle of the mountains. And is it very, very crucial that you are positive when you want to be charming. And the best way to be positive is to get into state. So I have at least 20 different things that I'm able to use to get myself into state. And I look at every single day, every hour, every couple hours of the day to get myself into state. So I'll do one thing to get me through the next 2 hours, and then I'll do something else to get me through the next 2 hours in state. For example, lifting weights, going hard on the exercise machine, Phenibut, alcohol, talking with friends, meeting up with a girl, stretching really hard to loosen up all the tension, dancing, doing, crazy energized exercises to get myself into state. All right. I want to, my life goal is to be into state all the time, 100% of the time, feeling terrific. All right. The better you get at being able to build your state, the more you're consistently positive, the more everyone's going to like you, okay? When you're always in state and you're practiced at it and you're good at the art of being happy and being in state, you're spreading that positive energy around to everyone around you, okay? Whether it's the fucking checkout girl or someone you met or your girlfriend's parents, everyone's going to vibe off that positivity. And positivity is just naturally fucking charming, all right? When you're positive, everyone wants to talk to you because 99% of people are fucking negative, man. 99% of people are bringing you down. When you're the guy who's bringing everyone up, you are going to attract people like moths to a fucking flame, all right? Number 3, interest, all right? Show motherfucking interest in people. Don't just fucking shit something out of your mouth and talk about what you want to talk about and talk about yourself and brag about yourself. No one fucking cares, man. No one cares about, what's going on with you. People care about what's going on in their own life. If you want people to like you, you got to take a fucking interest in their life and you got to speak to them in that way. When you hear about the charm of like Bill Clinton and guys like George Clooney, you can read about it on Quora and these different sites, and the takeaway that most people say is they make you feel like you're the only person in the room, okay? So you've got a super high value guy who comes to you, shakes your hand, looks you in the eye, and takes an interest in what you're saying, is not looking around everywhere, is strictly looking just at you and shining his light on you and asking you questions about your life and listening to what you're saying. All right, that's an incredibly powerful thing, especially when you're coming in as a high value person, because no one else takes an interest in other people. Everyone wants to talk about their fucking life and all the shit that they're doing, or they don't even, take the time to engage in the conversation. They just ignore people. All right, if you want people to like you, show an interest in them, engage in what they're saying, actively listen. All right, by actively listen, I mean when they're saying something, you say stuff like, right. Oh, really? Interesting. Okay, I see what you're saying. Oh, so you went hunting last weekend. Was that fun? Right? Like you're taking an interest. You are actively maintaining rapport. You're actively listening by showing with your words and your eye contact. And then you're asking questions about what they're saying to get them to open up to you. All right? And this makes people feel really comfortable. makes them feel like they can let their guard down, makes them feel like they're getting to know you, which is interesting because the more someone is able to talk about themselves, the more they feel like they're getting to know you. It's the best way to make people comfortable. And to flatter them to some degree, all right? Not to lie, not to tell them some bullshit that doesn't matter, but if you were talking to someone and you want to charm them, all right, find the things that you like about them or find something that's positive and tell them that. If any reason, not even to get something, just to add some positivity to someone's day. Like I'll tell a checkout girl, like, you have a nice smile, or, you know, you have a nice energy, or you know, anything like that. Or a guy that I meet and he's telling me about his business, I'll say something like, man, that's really good. You know, that's an incredible thing that you're doing. Because I'm choosing to focus on the positive and I'm taking an interest, and then I'm giving them a compliment because I want them to be happy, and when they're happy, I feel happier. And when they like me more, I like them more. So it's a win-win, like, positive feedback situation, okay? I'm not talking about, like, blowing smoke up someone's ass and telling them some bullshit. I'm saying, like, find the fucking positive thing after you've taken interest in them and then tell them about it, all right? I mean, it just makes interaction so much easier, and it makes it so that people will like you.